Hello, and welcome to another episode of Quest for the Masks, the series where we are on the hunt for rare and often surprisingly valuable Kanohi Masks. We're back with the Nuva Masks today for one very important reason, and it's not just because I wanted an excuse to bring out the newly completed set of all 6 ultra rare Protodermis masks. Although, who am I kidding? Just look at them. Beautiful. No, the main reason is because the 2 final gaps in the display are about to be gaps no longer. Yes, the brown cow and the green how have arrived. All that's left is to perform one tiny little jump cut, and bingo, the Nuva masks are done, which means I can finally get started on the Shiny Toa Nuva, which is a video that I know a lot of you guys have been requesting down in the comments, so stay tuned for that one. But in the meantime, we have another set to tackle, these guys. Now, I'm sure that you're all familiar with the Krana, but for anyone not in the know, these little rubber things are the brains of the Borok, although their importance in the storyline extends a little further than that. Similar to the facehuggers in Alien, they can latch onto the face of any unsuspecting Toa or Matoran characters, and once in place, they strip their victim of free will and drag them deep into the hive mind of the Borok. Pretty creepy. They served as the main collectible for 2002, kind of a successor to the Kanohi, with a whole bunch to collect. There are 8 designs, 12 colours, and then another 6 colours for the Borak Kal, which means a full set of Krana comes in at a whopping 144 different styles, a number second only to the frankly absurd Rakshi Krata, of which there are 259. Needless to say, pulling a full set together is no easy task. And that's where this bag comes in. In here are all the Krana I've been slowly acquiring from unboxings, trades, bricklink orders, wherever. Even a few generous donations from you guys. And if my calculations are correct, which they probably aren't because I'm terrible at organising, but if they are correct, there should be a full set in here. As you can see from this awful mess of a checklist, I've been attempting to keep track of progress, but at no point have I actually sorted through the bag to check what's in here. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And as is something of a tradition for this channel now, I've also constructed a hugely impractical and needlessly overcomplicated display for them to go on. Unfortunately, I've only managed to scrounge enough heads together so far for the main set, which means the Krana Kal will have to wait a little bit longer for a display of their own. But at least they'll be out of the bag, and that's going to make it easier to spot any gaps that I've missed. But first, a couple of things. Ziontyro's next wave of reproduction Kanohi is nearing completion, and is due to include the movie Krakan, both forms of the Avoki, the Ignika, the Vahi, and the Great Huna. If you're not already familiar with Ziontyro's work, he's secured the use of an injection moulding machine to produce actual plastic masks in a bunch of new colours. We've had the How and the regular Krakan already, and the next wave promises to add some much needed variety to the roster. So if the idea of even more new masks is something that excites you, be sure to head to Ziontyro's Instagram, where you'll be able to have your say in picking the final production colours. Gold and black got my vote, but that Huna Metru in the rest of the Metru colours is going to be pretty sweet. And needless to say, having a Gold Ignika more widely available is going to make a lot of people happy. Unfortunately, that brings me on to my next point, which is a little bit less wholesome. Inevitably, some of these reproduction masks have made it onto the secondary market, and because they are such faithful reproductions, it's kind of hard to tell them apart from the originals. Some of these resellers make a point of clarifying their custom pieces, but others are less thorough, with one in particular listing them just as replacement parts, which, let's be honest, could mean any number of things. Obviously this isn't a problem with the more specialised colours, but with things like the Pearl Gold Krakan, which I'm sure you're aware is one of the more valuable Kanohi, it seems that some people are being deliberately vague in order to make a quick buck snagging unsuspecting buyers. So if you are on the hunt for rare masks, be sure to check everything looks right before committing to buy. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's begin. And we're done! Turns out we're still missing one, this tan one down here. Not entirely unexpected given my pathetic attempt at a checklist, but still a bit disappointing. Krana Kal set is complete though, so hopefully that's enough incentive to get me back onto Brickling to scrape together enough heads for another display. No idea what I'm going to do with all the extras though. Wasn't expecting to have quite so many left over, but hey, I guess they're good trade fodder. And as a final point of interest, it seems there are two distinct shades of purple, one being more vivid and the other a little bit darker. It's super hard to see on camera, but it's much easier to spot in person. I'd heard rumours of this phenomenon, but it was still interesting to see it confirmed. And I swear there are two different yellows as well, but they're much harder to tell apart. Anyway, that's it for today, so as always, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next video. Ta-ta!